I am delighted not only with the distinguished audience we have here, but the distinguished panel we've got. And what I would like to do, again, to save time and to help you associate names and faces, is very quickly to ask for each member of the panel to give his name, affiliation.
My name is Jonathan Peters. I'm Director of Commercial Relations with Atlantic Western Transportation. Atlantic Western is a holding company that owns a short
Harris from the University of Alabama, Huntsville. I run the Office for Freight Logistics and Transportation.
Good morning, I'm Chris Principe from ACI Worldwide. I'm the Senior Manager for Trade and Supply Chain.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Terry Blanchard, and I'm the Director of Research and Public Policy for the Florida Chamber of Commerce.
I'm Joel Harrell, Resident Vice President of Affairs for Norfolk Southern. Norfolk Southern is a Class 1 railroad, operates in 22 states, with 21,000 miles of track, predominantly on the eastern half of the United States. We serve every major.
Thank you very much. What I'd like to do now is to have each of our panelists talk about the 2 or 3 priorities that they have thought about in terms of what they would like to see in terms of federal policy, regulatory, and legislation. We obviously have the transportation, logistics, supply chain world peopled by a lot of different interests. We also have a lot of different considerations. There are the mechanics, there are security interests, there are environmental interests, there are capacity interests, there are a dozen others that you're all very familiar with. Understanding that those all exist, I thought it would be very, very interesting to have each of these folks with their specific core interest in solving these problems to talk about the 2 or 3 most important things that they would like to see acted on. And then we're going to come back, have an exchange, and give Tony and David a chance to ask them further questions, have a little bit of an exchange within the panel, and then we'll open it up. We want to have Norfolk Southern start off. We'll work from that end of the table backwards.
And I want to hear from anybody else. Thank you, I appreciate that. From the federal involvement side of things, there is several issues right now in Washington that give us great concern. There are Congressman Oberstar and Rockefeller both seem to be out there looking at re-regulating the rail industry. We have fought long and hard after the Staggers Act of 1980 to get us to the point where we are now and able to have enough income to reinvest that money back into our own infrastructure. With the re-regulation of the railroad, it presents a major concern to the railroad industry. If we don't have the ability to make that income and reinvest it, it's going to impact the service levels to the customers. Without that service level, customers complain even more. This is what's driving it right now, some complaints from customers on rate cases as well. What I would ask from the Department of Commerce and USDOT would be, at the appropriate time when you are asked to comment on any of these issues, that look upon freight rail as a positive impact and not center on the negativity involved. It is a major concern of the rail industry. Also, the streamlining of any federal regulations would be a tremendous help as far as we can see. The one case in point is the positive train control, which has been implemented, rulemaking has been set up by Federal Railroad Administration, and it's a very high cost is what the rail industry is looking at to implement the positive train control. I'm not saying that it doesn't need to be looked at, doesn't need to be implemented, but have it on a realistic timetable. It is somewhat of an unproven technology, as we sit here today discussing it, and it needs to be looked at in a way that it makes sure that we're doing the best thing possible, and that what is implemented is something that will really work and be a good safety tool for the rail industry. tax credit or whatever tax credit it would be. It would give us the ability to capital that we invest back into the railroad to make it a better transportation mode would be a percentage of that would be credited back against the an income tax. That way we would have more flexibility in funding. The rail industry is a very capital intensive industry. 16% of every dollar we make goes right straight back into the infrastructure, capital improvements. Compare that with most all other industries in the country, and you're looking at other industries that invest 4 or 5% of every revenue dollar. When you start throwing in maintenance costs on top of that to maintain what you do, then we're looking at close to 40% of revenue. So, and you know, our ultimate goal right now is to make sure that we run a safe railroad, to make sure that the products that we're moving are at the location they're supposed to be in within the time limit that we say that we can get them there, and to give a good service for that dollar that we're charging. We are trying to get as many trucks off the road as we can, put them on the rail for the long haul, and in terms of doing that, we have entered into some very good partnerships with a lot of trucking firms. To do one positive note, I would like to comment on the Tiger One grants that Tony mentioned. We were one of the recipients of one of the large grants there for the Crescent Corridor. We do appreciate that. We think that it's a good use of the money. It is definitely a huge public-private partnership with great public benefits. Not only the trucks being off the road, but it is a huge job creator. It is a huge environmental factors involved with it that improve the environment through the areas we operate. With that, I'll pass it on.
Thank you very much. Harry, what does the world look like in Florida?
It's always a great day in Florida.
It's not bad here.
First, I'd like to thank the U.S. Department of Transportation and Department of Commerce for even being open to having this kind of session. I think that what you see oftentimes in public policy is that you can operate in a vacuum at times. And so you end up with this great product that's very well thought out, and a lot of smart people were around the table to discuss. And then you get to the end of it and realize that maybe there were some things that hadn't been considered from the stakeholder group. So the very fact that we're here today, I think, is a very positive flag to the future of what this national freight policy will look like. So kudos on that. Just to give you an idea of some of the things that are happening in Florida, and I imagine we could extrapolate to the entire southeast region. Florida is currently the 4th largest state in the nation, and notwithstanding hurricanes and housing bubbles, and the economy that has in the past been heavily reliant on tourism and construction, we will be adding another 5 to 7 million residents in the state of Florida by the year 2030. What we're trying to do at the foundation is plan for that growth in a way better than the previous decades. And a lot of that has to do with how we will be globally competitive, and obviously when we talk about the global economy, logistics and trade are sister comments to those as well. Also, the FHWA kind of put together quite a bit of statistical analysis and projections